Next dancers, it's Anthony and Rose, and guess what day it is?
It's two-stepping Tuesday. All right, so it's Tuesday. That means we're doing some cool two-step today. And one thing that we've been requested to do a lot are called weave patterns. Now, some people call them weaves, they call them whips, they call them laces, depending on what part of the country you're in. But we get asked for this a lot, both here on YouTube and on Facebook, and even on Instagram, we've been asked for this. So I think maybe it's time that we actually do that. So this is one you'll dance a lot, one you have to know. So we're gonna break it down and maybe even give you a new take on it. So there's a very traditional way of doing it, and then there's this cooler way that we're gonna teach you guys that actually might even work and look a little better. So stick around. All right, guys, we're gonna break this down. Before we do, if you guys have not yet subscribed yet, there's a little button down here. You click the subscribe button. Be sure to hit that bell notification. We post a lot of two-step, a lot of West Coast swing, all the country dances. And if you hit the little bell button, then you'll be notified when something awesome has happened. Now, one more thing, a lot of you guys have asked is we're kind of going on this tour across the country. We've talked about it a couple times where we're gonna go to different dance halls, maybe do some workshops, and we can get, just kind of meet people across the different dance halls across the country. We actually have some dates now. So click down in the description down below, and you'll be able to see where we're at. We've got several dates in Texas. We've got 3 different ones in California. We've got an online thing going. So click those. Very, very limited availability on those because we want to keep the class size small. So click the link and get your ticket before they're all gone. All right, so we're going to demonstrate what's called an inside weave, and then we're going to break it down. We're going to start from a promenade position for quick, quick, slow, slow. Lead her for an inside turn. Here's our first part of the weave. And then we finish. Okay, so we'll show you that again from this angle and we'll give you the count. So promenade position, quick, quick, slow, slow, quick, quick, slow, slow, quick, quick, slow, slow, and quick, quick, slow, slow. All right, so first we have to talk about what a weave pattern is. There's really in two-step only 4 things you can do. You can do rhythmical walking, which is just quick, quick, slow, slow in a straight line. We can turn her to the left or we can turn her to the right. That's the first 3 things. And the 4th thing are weaves. So this is, usually in the beginning we start with the turning and the walking and all that stuff. And then once we get to a little bit more of a novice to intermediate level, we start doing the weaves. But a weave pattern is if we're moving towards you, like this is our line of dance, we are weaving in and out of each other. Again, these are called laces or whips and so on. But if we're moving down the line of dance, you've got one person on the outside, one person on the inside, and we switch sides and we kind of go back and forth. So if you watch this pattern again, we'll show you again and show you how this is actually going to weave back and forth. Actually, we'll start it facing you. You'll see how she's on this side of me. I give her that turn. She's now still on that side. We're here. But now she's over here on this side before we finish, okay? So if you notice, all of your weave patterns just kind of weave in and out of each other. So that's the first thing to know about a weave pattern. Now, if you've done weaves, laces before, a lot of times you're gonna see this done a little bit differently. So sometimes dancers will go here and then they'll finish with both dancers facing back line of dance. Now, I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just saying I'm going to give you a different concept of the reason why we do this the way that we do and why it's beneficial to you. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to walk her forward for a quick, quick, slow, slow in promenade position. From there, we give her an inside turn. However, while normally she turns 1.5 turns where she's facing back line of dance, in this example, what we're going to do in this weave is instead of that, we're going to cut her off for slow to where she's kind of facing me. All right, we're going to talk about that a little bit more and why that's beneficial and why you should consider doing it that way too. But what we're going to do is normally when we turn her for an inside turn, we're going to lead her for quick, quick, slow, slow, and she has half, half for quick, quick. Now, if you notice at this point, we are both still facing down the line of dance. From this point, we're going to bring that hand down and square her to face me instead of finishing facing line. It's just an adjustment of the lead and the follow. Ladies, you have to be prepared for that because she's not going to know this is coming unless, guys, you tell her that that's actually happening, okay? So what we really want to do is on that first slow, we cut her off just a little. Now, don't make it jerky, don't make it hard, just make it understandable and clear, okay? So we're going to go quick, quick, slow, slow. Now quick, quick, boom. Now, our progress is still moving down the line of dance. We're gonna take that foot that's free, in that case is my right foot, her left foot, and we still wanna move down the line of dance, but we wanna move down the line of dance while we connect that foot or cross that foot behind, all right? That is much different than ending up here, okay? Not because one or the other is better at that point, but I can tell you the way that we do it, we prefer it that way because of what is going to happen next. Okay? Everything you do leads up to something and it has an effect on everything that happens after that. And if you end up back line of dance, it's really going to affect the next part and make it a lot more difficult for you. So again, we have quick, quick, slow, slow. And again, you'll notice on this quick, quick, guys, do not rotate your shoulders. You're facing down the line of dance and you're going to step quick, quick. So now we're both facing down the line of dance. At this point, she turns a quarter of a turn, I turn a quarter of a turn as we continue to move down the line of dance and I bring the hand down. Our progress is moving down the line of dance, we hook that foot behind. Now here's where the benefit to doing this way comes in. As we're hooking that foot behind, we are still moving down the line of dance, but we are also creating leverage away from each other. So it's kind of like taking a rubber band and stretching it. So if I stretched a rubber band this way and then I released it, it's going to go in. You have to make that noise when you do that too. But if you go here and then you release that rubber band, all that energy that's being stored back is going in that direction. Because the next part that we're going to do is we're going to have her moving towards me. If we're in this position with that foot behind and we have a little bit of leverage going away from each other, now it's going to feel natural to feed off of that energy to have her come forward. All right, so now if you've done the weave patterns facing back here, the problem with this is the next movement, now that her momentum is moving backwards, she's gonna naturally feel like she should go that way. And that's not where we want her to go. So if we're in this position and now I've got to pull her with my arm, and that's not going to be as comfortable no matter how you phrase that, okay? So however, if we're in this position, and our feet are back and we're stretching away from each other, her energy is moving away from me, and now like releasing a rubber band, it makes sense for her to move in that direction. So one more thing about this before we move on, not only are we in this position where our foot is crossed behind and we have this leverage, but in addition to that, I am slightly behind her. So if you notice that alignment that we have, she's just slightly farther down the line of dance than I am, okay? Now I've seen some people say keep it even, and some people even say keep it the other way, and I don't find those to be beneficial in any ways, because the first thing is, the reason why we always want her in front of us, and not just in this pattern, but in all patterns, it is much easier to lead things if I'm moving down the line of dance when it's out in front than it is back behind, right? So if we're in this position, all we have to do, guys, is now 45-degree walk. I'm taking her towards me, so I'm sending her momentum basically to the spot where I am because our leverage is leaning away from each other, and all I have to do is take her to my spot as I go underneath. All right, so with the leader's hand position here, what's happening is right now the hand is down. As soon as she starts coming around, I'm gonna bring that hand up, and we prefer to leave it up. So we're gonna bring that hand, we're gonna step underneath, I'm bringing that hand over my head, but I'm leaving that hand basically up. On that second slow, I've turned the hands to where my palm is facing her and my fingertips are pointing slightly down the line of dance. Now I'm gonna show you some other things that people do sometimes on this. They kind of make this, I don't know how to describe it, but they kind of bring the hand up and then they kind of swing it up and over. Like, I'm not asking her to float, so I don't want her to like actually do that, okay? So from here, we just have to keep the hand down low to start her motion, and then we bring it up. Now notice my palm is facing outwards here. I'm gonna keep my palm facing outwards as I step, but on that second slow, I'm gonna basically turn my palm to face her, and my fingertip is in her palm. The reason why we want her fingertips pointing this way is because if my fingertips are pointing that way, she can turn in the direction my fingers are pointing. However, if my hand is here, she can't turn inwards. She's gonna turn in the direction I face my fingertips. So we're letting her know where it is we're gonna have her turn by the direction of her fingertips. So hands down low, we create this stretch. I bring the hand up and over, I leave it up, and then turn it. So now from that position, we can now do the next turn. So what I want to do is I want to show the leader's footwork up to this point, and then we'll show the follower's footwork. So leaders, you're in promenade position, you're walking forward for quick, quick, slow, slow. And as we turn her, we still continue to face forward as we go step, step. Now we're turning a quarter of a turn to our right, slow. We keep facing that direction as our body continues to move for slow, all right? So ladies, she's going to be moving forward, so quick, quick, slow, slow. Then she's going to turn half, half, so it's half, half. Then she's moving to the side, continuing to move down the line of dance for slow, and then her body's moving as she hooks, and then we create this elasticity or stretch. Okay, from here, guys, once we get into that position and we're here, I'm facing basically her. My hips and my shoulders are facing my partner. From here, I want to turn just a little bit so I'm basically facing a 45-degree angle. If I was sitting in the center of a square room, I'd be walking towards the corner. And we're going to do it 3 steps of quick, quick, slow, slow without turning. So I'm turning just a little bit and I go forward, forward, forward. That's quick, quick, slow. On that second slow, I'm going to turn basically 5/8 of a turn to face her for slow. Now, if you'll notice in this alignment, and we can talk more about this later, whoever's on the inside of the track is also slightly behind the partner that's now on the outside track. So if you look at our alignment here, she's on the outside, I'm on the inside, and she's also slightly in front of me. But basically, we're switching or trading alignments for quick, quick, slow, slow. Now, I've taken that spot in relation to her, and she's taken my spot. All right? So for the ladies' footwork, when we've gotten here to this position, she's coming towards me, and she's basically going to stay close to me, and she's going to basically walk around in a circle. It's going to be forward, 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 forward. Also different than what a lot of people will teach. But she's going to do 4 walking forward steps. So she's got forward, 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 forward. All right? Now, if you notice, Rose is actually moving, and she's going forward, forward, forward. She's curving around. By that second slow, she's actually moving down the line of dance. This is going to be also different than some videos and what some teachers teach, and I'm going to explain to you why that is also. So if we're here, a lot of times teachers they'll teach this where she's squared up and facing her partner on that second slow, and then I'm going to explain to you why that is going to be bad for what comes next also. So if she goes quick, quick, slow, and now she squares up with me, facing me. If she's facing me here at this point, the problem with that is the next thing she's going to do is turn. So let me show you the difference between the two. What we're asking you guys to do is quick, quick, slow, slow. So her hips and feet are facing down the line of dance. If her body is facing here, the next thing I'm going to do is ask her to turn to the left. So that's a straight half of a rotation. However, some people will tell you to go quick, quick, slow, and then face your partner on that second slow. Here's the problem with that. This extra rotation, so we were here, some people will tell you to be here. The problem with this is now she's going to turn to the left. So that first step has to be 3/4 of a turn around 1 foot, right? Talk about balance issues, problems, right? So if she's here in this position, she squared too much and facing her partner, now to turn, she has to get so much more rotation to start that next turn. However, on the other hand, and I know I'm getting technical and rambly, I do that, her body, her upper half, her torso is going to back up a little bit towards me. However, it's not going to affect her feet or her hips or her nose. Her nose and her toes stay facing down the line of dance, but her shoulders are going to be prepped by the leader. So watch how we do this. If we go quick, quick, slow, slow, if you notice, if she stays in that position, her feet, her toes and her nose are now facing down the line of dance. But what's happened is I've taken her shoulders and backed up because this is where the energy is going to be stored for the next turn. So if I back her up just through her shoulders, that next turn is going to be much more comfortable than if her hips and feet had faced me. So here we go. So she's facing me. If you notice, I'm going to prep just her torso, but not her feet. Don't let it affect your feet or your nose. So quick, quick, slow, slow. So I've taken that hand up. I've backed her shoulder up a little bit. I am now facing her. She's facing down the line of dance. And guys, you're just going to stay in that place to allow her to go from here and pass you for quick, 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 and then I'm basically gonna step in to go slow, slow. So we're going back to that standard alignment that we have. Two-step has two alignments, one where one person's in front of the other, one where one person's on the outside, one person's on the inside. Whoever's on the outside, slightly in front. Here you go. We're gonna break this down one little piece at a time. So we're gonna start in this promenade position and we'll step quick, quick, slow, slow. We're both facing down the line of dance. Now she's turning half-half. As I continue to face down the line of dance, we bring that hand down, hello, there you are, and then we continue to move as we hook that foot behind and create leverage. From here, I'm using that leverage to then send her towards me for quick, quick, slow. I've not rotated my shoulders until the second quick. She's facing down the line of dance. I'm facing her. I continue her motion down the line of dance as I stay in place to allow her to pass for quick, quick, slow, slow, and then we can pick up into a closed position. We'll show you that again from this angle. Promenade position, and we have quick, quick, slow, slow, quick, quick, there you are, hook, quick, quick, slow, there she is again, quick, quick, slow, slow. All right, so now this is the basic, what's called an inside weave, or I guess you could say inside whip, or inside lace, or whatever you want to call it. But the thing to keep in mind, your alignments are really important. The biggest mistake that people will make is that he ends up in the wrong position in relation to her, or they end up facing the wrong direction and so forth. So hope this has been helpful. Now there are going to be other videos in the future where we cover more advanced variations of the weave. But I really want you guys to learn this one first before we get into, because that other stuff is going to be so much more difficult unless you got this part right. And I promise you, if you do this way, everything is going to feel so much better and cleaner and more balanced and everything than, you know, facing the wrong direction and the wrong alignments and all that stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys the next time.